Hello, and thank you so much for serving on this Sunday, June 9th, 2024. I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of what to expect for this week's lesson. It is slightly different than usual, but the bones remain the same, but the follow-up activity is a little different. So I'm going to give you just a brief walkthrough. So we need to arrive at 9:30 so you can check in and get your sticker and join the huddle so you can hear announcements and pray together as a team. And then at 9:45 is when kids will begin arriving to the classroom. They can choose the centers that they want to do. That's the same as usual. Someone needs to turn on the TV. This is a slight change. If you haven't been here in the last few weeks, on the TV, when you log into YouTube app, you're going to click on the Lindsay channel. And when you get there, you're going to go into the library and click on the watch later part, because these two videos are saved in there. It's Wild and Jungle Jam. Those are two of our VBS songs. They are labeled as for kids, and YouTube won't let you save videos that are labeled for kids. So I had to save them in that manner instead. So make sure you go in the to be watched later section and you can find them there. So you're going to do those two songs together to help get them kind of ramped up for VBS. And that's when you're going to split. So if you're 3rd through 5th, take the yellow bag. It has your key to get upstairs. Make sure you lock yourselves in up there. And then also it has your lesson plans in there. There's a clip that says boys, a clip that says girls. There are 2 girl teachers and 1 boy teacher this week. So the number of lessons are appropriate to the clip. And then also for upstairs, you have a paper about the art show. Downstairs, it's not with your lesson. It is on the board, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So when you get up there, before we worry about the art show, we're going to work on the memory verse. We are on week 2, which is, and love your neighbor as yourself. Remind them that this is going to look different in their ESV Bibles. We are memorizing the NIV version this month because that is what goes with our VBS curriculum. So it's just a little bit of a switch if they're looking at it in their personal Bibles, but this is what they're going to actually be memorizing this month. And then you're going to do the tacos prayer strategy. As usual, the most important part, remembering that the C for confession is something that is between them and God, that they do not need to share out loud with the group. Then on the back, they are doing a gospel story Bible lesson. This week it's lesson 16, Jacob and Rachel. And actually, I just realized, is it 16? No, it's 19. I apologize. I mistyped that. It is lesson 19, Jacob and Rachel. It is on pages 38 and 39 though. We're just going to read the story. We're not going to look it up in the Bible this week because it is incredibly long. It takes up 2 chapters. And I wanted them to have time to work on their art when they finish. So you're just going to read the story. If you're downstairs, read it to them. If you're upstairs, they can read it out loud to you. Go through the follow-up questions that come from our devotional that is paired with our Gospel Storybook Bible. And then for the craft, both groups are doing the same thing. There are a ton of materials available to both groups. They need to make an art project, make a piece of art for a wild animal that will be displayed during VBS. So I'm going to show you downstairs where it's at, and I'll also tell you upstairs. So downstairs, if you look over here at the table, I grabbed all the colors of construction paper. Make sure that they're making good choices. They can choose maybe 2 colors or 2.5 sheets, not one of everything. There's also a mix of materials. If you are upstairs, there are separate containers. I don't have the containers to be able to do that for down here as well. So I just mixed them together. There are beads and eyeballs and fluff balls and string and some raffia and just, some pipe cleaners, some buttons, all kinds of things that they can choose to incorporate in their art project. Also, as a teacher, if there are kids that want to include some natural elements that can be found right outside our door, right there. And if they can find something like right here in this pile, they can't go beyond this space because I don't want the other classrooms to see them out there because that would be really hard for them to focus. But if you want to let 2 of them come out with a teacher at a time to get some natural materials to incorporate, they can. There is tape here. There's liquid glue in the cabinets that they can use. They can also use their normal materials, which is scissors, glue sticks, liquid glue, pencils, crayons, all the things that are normally in their bins. This was how it was left last week. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. And then over here, this is the sheet where there are some examples. So they can see some other kids' artwork. So what I put some notes on the board, they should, before they start working on this, make a list of some ideas. I started it with tiger, maybe jaguar, maybe giraffe, maybe elephant, all kinds of things that you would find in the jungle that they can make a picture of. Make sure they write their first and last name on the back. The only thing I did not write down is that if they do not finish this week, that is okay. Encourage them to try to finish all the way through this week because that would be simplest. But if it's not finished, then just stack them over here on that table and they can work on that during center time next Sunday. And that'll be the last time that they have to work on it before it's time for them to be hung up for VBS. But so both groups will be doing it. So upstairs, it's the exact same stuff, except for that sheet that's on the board down here is with your lesson plan, so you can show the kids. You have the construction paper and the basic materials in your classroom, but then all those other materials, the buttons, the pipe cleaners, all those things are in the hallway on one of those alcoves. The containers are just open, and you can send the kids out in groups of 2. To go gather a few things that they need. Again, same thing, just showing some restraint, picking maybe 4 or 5 things they want to use, but not like 2 giant handfuls. And maybe most importantly, it's not most important, but it would be very helpful, making sure that they clean up their messes when they are finished. At 11:10, that is when they need to come back downstairs for dismissal. The only caveat to that is if the sermon seems to be running really, really long, then I'll send you a text before 11:10 to let you know that you can stay up longer. But it usually ends in that time frame. So plan to be heading back downstairs at 11:10. And then that is when pickup starts. I do ask that the kids need to be in the worship area, watching something on YouTube or talking with an adult, answering questions, or if they're still working on their art project, as long as they are wrapping it up, they need to be ready to walk out the door when their parent arrives. They should not still be, knee deep in a project and their parent has to wait for them a long time because it holds up the line. So they should be, over there doing something away from the door when it is during dismissal time. But that is it. Thank you guys so much for serving this week, and we will see you on Sunday.